and know about connections between the drug trade and the terrorist world. The reason the almighty feds decided to team up with the NYPD and form the ATTF, by the way, is that most FBI people are not from New York and don't know a pastrami sandwich from the Lexington Avenue subway. The CIA guys are a little slicker and talk about cafes in Prague and the night train to Istanbul and all that crap, but New York is not their favorite place to be. The NYPD has street smarts, and that's what you need to keep track of Abdul Salami Salami and Paddy O'Bad and Pedro Viva Puerto Rico and so on. When the ATTF can't steal active-duty NYPD people, they hire ex-NYPD like me. Despite my so-called disability, I'm armed, dangerous, and nasty. So, there it is. My cab driver exited the Shorebelt POW MIA Parkway and got on the Van Wyck Expressway heading south into JFK. These huge planes were sort of floating overhead making whining noises. I directed him to international arrivals, then onto another road, and we were now going to the other side of the big airport. I told him to stop in front of a big office-type building on the west side of JFK that was used for this and that. I went into the lobby of the building, a 1960s sort of crap modern architecture, and instead of an armed guard with an Uzi like they have all over the world, there's just a sign that says, "Restricted area, authorized personnel only." I went up a staircase and down a long corridor of gray steel doors, some marked, some numbered, some neither. At the end of the corridor was a door with a nice blue and white sign that said, "Conquistador Club. Private members only." There was this electronic keycard scanner alongside the door, but like everything else about the Conquistador Club, it was a phony. What I had to do was to press my right thumb on the translucent face of the scanner, which I did. About 2 seconds later, the Metro Biotic Genie said to itself, "Hey, that's John Corey's thumb. Let's open the door for John." And did the door swing open? No. It slid into the wall as far as its dummy doorknob. Do I need this nonsense? I went in and the door slid closed automatically behind me. I was now in what appeared to be the reception area of an airline travelers club. Why there'd be such a club in a building that's not near a passenger terminal is, you can be sure, a question I'd asked, and I'm still waiting for an answer. But I know the answer, which is that when the CIA culture is present, you get this kind of smoke and mirrors silliness. What the door needed was a simple sign that said, "Keep out." Anyway, behind the counter was Nancy Tate, the receptionist, a sort of Miss Moneypenny, the model of efficiency and repressed sexuality and all that. She liked me for some reason and greeted me cheerily.
"Good afternoon, Mr. Corey. I like your tie."
I took it off a dead Bulgarian on the night train to Istanbul. She giggled.
"Op Center. There are 5 people, including yourself."
Thanks. I walked through the doorway, down a short hallway, and into a dim, cavernous, and windowless room that held desks, computer consoles, cubicles, and such. On the big rear wall was a huge computer-generated color map of the world that could be programmed to a detailed map of whatever you needed, like downtown Islamabad. Anyway, this facility wasn't my actual workplace, which is in 26 Federal Plaza in Lower Manhattan. But this was where I had to be on this Saturday afternoon to meet and greet some Arab guy who was switching sides and needed to be taken safely downtown for a few years of debriefing.